Welcome to the series of interviews for the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. We are here with the author and narrator, John Berendt. John, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the book?
The killing of Danny Hansford occurs in Savannah, Georgia, in the house that he and Jim Williams share called the Mercer House. The book is my first-person account of the goings-on before and during the trial of Jim Williams in the case of the murder of Danny Hansford. The main objective of the case was to determine whether the murder was out of self-defense or if it was purely a crime of passion. Danny Hansford is a local prostitute, is the secret lover of Jim Williams. There are many people who influence the book and events as a whole who are each unique and bring something different to the table. There are many people and events that take place that shape the book and trial, and each one has its own unique qualities and make this story so fascinating. I am a writer for a magazine. I went to Savannah following the story of Jim Williams and his impressive antiques dealings. While there, I came in contact with all these weird people and decided to stay and see what kind of story would unfold. Little did I know that I would find the story of a lifetime. One of these weird people was a man who got paid to walk an invisible dog. There was also a scientist who carries poison in a vial with him at all times in case he ever needs to poison the water supply and kill off every person in Savannah. There was a voodoo woman who worked all kinds of magic for people. There was a cross-dressing black woman who went by Lady Chablis, who's a drag queen and performs at Club One. She was definitely one of the more vibrant characters I had the opportunity of meeting, to put it lightly. There was a hustler, Joe Odom, who constantly found new ways to make businesses and then fell at them. And lastly, there was Danny Hansford, an unable man who worked for Jim as well. You know, his lover I was telling you he killed, Jim did admit to me that he did it. In the end, he was guilty. But I guess things catch up to you. Maybe that is the real reason he died.
We're here with Jim Williams, one of the country's most prominent antiques dealers. He is the key to this whole story, and we are going to hear from Jim today.
I have a Christmas party every year that people do anything to get invited to. It's the best party that happens here in Savannah. I live in a house called the Mercer House in Montgomery Square. This is where I shot Danny Hansford. It's where I died myself. I was put on trial 4 different times for the murder of Danny Hansford, and I'm still the only man in the state of Georgia to be put on trial 4 times for the same thing. It's true, I did love him. I only shot him out of self-defense. He came into my house very angry and threatened me and pulled a gun. I was scared to death. I pulled the gun out of my drawer and I shot him before he could get the chance to shoot me. I talked to Minerva so I could get some closure with Danny, and the things didn't turn out so well. Instead, I just used Minerva to do some black magic on all of those people who were against me. Throughout all 4 trials, every single one of them, I knew I wouldn't be found guilty because I really did do it out of self-defense. It was just a matter of having other people believe it. I just had to extend the truth a little so that people would believe that I was innocent. It all worked out in the end, except for the whole dying thing. That wasn't part of the plan.
We are back with the 3rd installment of interviews for the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. We are here with Minerva. She is the voodoo queen, and she can do pretty much anything you need her to do. She connects with the dead. She does really anything you need her to do. So we are here, and Minerva's going to tell us a little bit about herself.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today. Yes, it's true, I can do anything. I can do spells and connect with the dead, or anything you want me to do. But you gotta listen to the dead time. The dead time is the most important time, and it's from 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And at 11:30 to midnight is when you do the good kind of spells. And after midnight is for the bad. The bad time, don't really like to get my hands in, but I do it anyways because people pay pretty nice. I use all kind of stuff in my spells. I use graveyard dirt and some chicken's feet and, personal stuff. I'm very good at what I do. I found out that Mr. Hanford likes to do some messing with Mr. Williams. He just wouldn't go up or down. And John's problem is he think nobody love him. So I helped Danny get back at Mr. Williams, and then he had a heart attack and now he's dead. So now they're both dead and it's okay. And I'm the voodoo queen because I'm the best at what I do and everyone comes to me. So thank you very much.
Here with Danny Hansford, the lover of Jim Williams, back from the dead. Danny was a victim of the shooting from Jim, and we are here to hear Danny's story of how it really happened, and we're going to hear it straight from the victim's mouth. So, Danny?
I didn't shoot first. I can't believe Jim got all those people to believe that. There was no gunshot residue because my gun never fired. That's the reason I did all those things to him after he killed me. I didn't want to leave Earth until my job was done. And now that it is, I am happy to be on my way. There's nothing better than having Jim dead too. Sure, I have anger problems just like everyone says, but Jim lied to everybody. I did love him, and I did not shoot him at first. End of story.
Back to our final installment of interviews with Lady Chablis for the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Lady Chablis is probably one of my favorite characters, as well as many of other people's. And Lady Chablis is going to tell us a little bit about herself, or himself, and we will just get his or her point of view.
My name is Lady Chablis, and I perform at the home night club called Club One in Savannah. I'm a pre-op transsexual woman and a full-time drag queen. I just love life and shopping, and one of my favorite quotes is, "Never spend any of your hard-earned money on clothes and accessories. You need to get yourself a man to buy all that for you." I just like bringing relief into people's lives, and everyone loves me. I don't know why Mr. Williams shoot that poor child, Danny. Sure, he got a temper on him, but that ain't nothing worth killing for. Just a tragedy. Ooh, excuse me.
Thank you, Ms. Chablis, for that lovely interview. That concludes all of the interviews for the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Thank you for watching. As we are back with Minerva, both of us together. Here we are with Danny Hansford, back from the dead, for this exclusive interview for Shoot 'em Monkey. Welcome back on this morning for our next interviewer, Mrs.
No, you are the interviewer.
Oh, crap!